So, a couple things you can do. Number one is, Sam, pull up the slide with our best subject lines on them. You can kind of see an example of this. Oh, I jumped ahead. Okay, so here's a couple of our subject lines that have worked the best. These are literally, we just pulled them up for the last few months, the emails that got the best open rates. Look at the subject line. Look at the second to the bottom, another business idea. Like all lowercase, all informal. Looks like something maybe my brother-in-law would send me with, hey, here's a cool business idea. Check it out. Let's see, going to the very top, $3,000 Zoom coaching service. Notice how it's not a proper sentence. There's not a the, there's not a proper preposition at the front of it to formulate the sentence. It's very informal. Another one kind of midways down, meat, snacks, and podcasts. Like very informal, all lowercase, kind of odd, but something I would totally send to a friend. Like, hey, here's some meat, snacks, and podcasts you got to check out. And I'm actually going to share my screen real quick and show you a little trick that I use. Let me pull this up. All right. I don't know. There might be, hopefully there's nothing in my email account that I'll regret sharing. All right, here we go. I'm going to kick you out, Sam. Okay. One of my favorite things to do to find subject lines to use. I love finding stuff to model. And one of the best ways to find subject lines that you can use is, one, look at emails that you have either sent or emails that you've received and have opened. So emails you have sent or emails you have received and opened. Those are subject lines that work. The job of the subject line is to get you to open the email. So literally, this is the emails that I've opened. I'm scrolling through like haircut appointment book. That's kind of an odd one. We probably wouldn't use that. Okay, here's one that someone on the team sent me. Questions. Notice how informal that it is. It isn't like 6 questions you must answer for me today. That would be what a lot of marketers would write. It's just questions. And she could probably write that in lowercase and it'd probably have an even high open rate. Here's another one Will wrote me. Strategy question, not a full sentence. It doesn't have punctuation on it, not proper sentence structure, not proper grammar. None of that matters at all. You never write like that to your friends. Don't write like that to your list. Let's find another one here. Another one, question. Like how many times have I ever used the word question in the subject line? All right, let's see what else. Timeline update. This is an internal email someone on the team sent me. Timeline update. That's an interesting one. Some of this is like transactional stuff, so you can kind of ignore that. Hate to admit this. Now, this is a broadcast email. I've opened very few broadcast emails that I've received, but I opened this one. It's called Hate to Admit This. Kind of interesting. Now, I don't use emojis in my subject lines, but I have found those to work fairly well. Maybe I can help, ... Interesting one. That's a broadcast one that I opened. What else? Anything else pop out? So I would encourage you to do this. Here's a little hack you can use. Number one, we shared some of our best subject lines. Don't steal them specifically, model them. So Sam, bring up slides again and show that slide with the subject lines on it. And I'll show you how to model something. Model our subject lines. Try it out. Do your spin on it. Number two, go to your Gmail account or whatever email you use, pull up your sent emails folder and look at the subject lines you sent to people that you know, model those. And number three, look at your opened emails that you have actually opened, and take those subject lines and model those. So go forward to the slide that has the subject lines on it. Nope.
Yep.
That one go. Yeah. Okay. So take another business idea. Let's see, send chat. Trying to pull out a business idea. Let's say you do horse training or something. You could have another training idea. If you go up to meat, snacks, and podcast, it could be, horse food and blogs. Just take it, whatever your topic is, and spin these subject lines that have worked for us and try it for yourself and see how it works. Don't just take them specifically and send them. They won't make sense in your context, but model those subject lines. Model the subject lines of ones you've actually sent other people. Model the subject lines of ones you've opened from other people. Those are 3 great places that can get you out of the mindset of writing an email to hundreds or thousands of people and get you in the mindset of writing an email to an individual, which is the key takeaway. When you sit down to write your email, I would encourage you, write it inside of Gmail. Write it inside of your email composer you're typically send emails from. That'll get you in the mindset of writing to an individual and not to a big group of people. And use subject lines that have already worked. That's one of the best ways to come up with great subject lines. Use the ones that have already worked, that you've written, that you've received, and that are on this list right here that we're giving you. Anything to add to that, Sam?
Yeah, I would say that you need to find a balance between intrigue and being yourself. So just meaning, like, if you look at some of those subject lines, we've got some that have a lot of intrigue, like Panamanian prison. It's one of my favorite emails Brian's ever written. But if you know Brian and you followed him, that actually would be kind of consistent with his voice. So you need to find your voice and not try to be someone else. And so you find some email copywriting, whether it's subject lines or whatever, it's like they're just simply using some other email they saw, but they don't have their own voice. They haven't thought about their own avatar. And so it's really not applicable for what you're doing. So you want to find that balance. And like Brian said, like act like you're writing to your mom, be yourself, use intrigue that's consistent with you and your voice, and keep it very, very simple. Notice in these two, the other thing I noticed, Brian, is there's not a lot of like parentheses and stars and like secret messages, some of the traditional email copywriting stuff out there from the quote unquote internet marketers. It's like just so, it's like, you don't want to open it or whatever. Kind of gives you a sick feeling before you even open it type thing. So hope that was helpful. Punch a 1, do us a favor, punch a 1 in the chat box if talking subject lines for the last 5 minutes has been helpful for you. If you picked up something, that would be great. Okay, cool.
Good. And just use these. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. Use the ones you've sent. Use ones, and the ones you've sent, the ones you've received will be the most effective. You can take ours and try to spin them for you. That's fine too. But the ones you've literally sent to friends and family already, like questions, that was one that popped up 3 times in a short search. Try that. Just make your subject line question. Make sure there's a question in the email. They don't trick people. Then your reputation will go down and people won't open it because they don't like you. But don't reinvent the wheel here. Like, it's really simple to write good subject lines. Use one that have already worked.